What's going on, everybody? This is Jay Wicker with Real Estate Aholics. What's up, guys?
Hey, hey.
What's going on, Jay?
Nothing much, man.
Good,
Nothing much,
Jay.
man. We struggle streaming already, man, but we're gonna get this thing rolling here.
AT&T, man.
You got the struggle net?
Yeah, we got the struggle neck right now.
Yeah.
That's funny.
You got to get rid of that Spectrum, man. Get you some AT&T.
Yeah, I'm not even actually in no place right now. I'm actually over here to this little room they got over here, so that's what it is, bro.
Oh, okay.
So I thought I'd pop out here for a hot second because I had a problem last time. But
They
now
need
I'm
Wi-Fi
dealing with
extender.
it. Yeah. But yeah, but we let Jarrell back in here, man. So everybody introduce yourself, man. What do you do? Where you logging in from? All that good stuff.
Oh, man. Jason Sims out of Dallas, Texas. Real estate investor, wholesaling, creative financing, new construction until we got shot down. But other than that, anything that's got to do with real estate, man, holler at me about it. If I don't know something about it, then I know somebody who knows something about it.
Facts.
All right, I'll go next. I'm Cody Cox. I am a fund manager with Bridge City Factors. I am in Salem, Oregon, which is the capital of the state of Oregon. What we do is we buy promissory notes secured by real estate. So we don't invest in the property itself. We invest in the paper that it's written on. So I manage a fund of about $1.5 million worth of notes. We've raised capital from investors, paying those capitals a return on their investment and get a little bit slice of that ourselves.
Wonderful. Jarrell, it's on you, brother.
Jarrell Mathis coming out of Atlanta, Georgia. We do hard money loans. Anybody looking for a fix and flip, refinance, or just anything, a purchase, buy, and hold, holla at your boy. Got good rates going on. 90% of the purchase price, 100% of the renovation costs on the fix and flip, 80% loan to value on the refinance or purchase of a long-term rental. So just let me know. You hit me at that email below right there.
Good deal. Coach Steve SJ, what up, though? Tell us about you, brother.
Can you guys hear me clear?
Yes.
So yeah, I'm out of New Jersey, Dirty Jersey, and basically I'm a real estate investor. I'm a wholesaler. My company's been wholesaling for about 5 years. That's what we do strictly. But I do take the capital from wholesaling and I support investment property in Jersey. Looking to buy some more, of course. So I got some deals right now in Alabama. I'm trying to, move. I think I gave the deal to you, Jay. Yeah, I put it in your inbox. So,
Today?
I did Alabama. My territories, like I said, Alabama and New Jersey. And so if you need anything as far as learning how to wholesale, anything as far as getting into the real estate game, I'm here. And like Jay said, if I don't know, my brothers is gonna know. You know what I mean? So
absolutely. I'm gonna check my inbox today, man. I'm gonna see what's going on. See if I can help you with that.
All right.
See if we can put something together, man. So, hey, so Jarrell, before we jump into this thing, I had a couple questions for Jarrell. Jarrell, you there, brother? He may have stepped away for a second. I know he was talking about he got a program that offers 90%. What rehab? He said. I want to kind of elaborate on that a little bit. So he fell off a little bit. So let's go ahead and get rolling. And once he jump back on, man, we'll ask him a couple questions. So first and foremost, man, how you guys' weekend going first, man? So far. I'm not weekend, but weekday. How the week going for you so far? That's what I meant to say.
Yeah,
you guys out there killing it?
So far, so good. I'm finally, to be honest with you, I'm finally getting rid of one hat that I've been doing. Basically, I'm trying to create a system, but I got one hat left that I've been trying to hold on. And that's the acquisition part. Because I love talking to sellers. I love that. That's just part of me. That's something that I just love to do. So I finally am going to actually delegate that. And so I'm in the process of finding that person that can kind of not duplicate me, but just got to be in that same kind of mindset and time frame. So that's what I'm doing right now, just trying to fill the position. But everything else, as far as getting deals, we know we kind of running smoothly. The first quarter, January, February, March, it's kind of slow in the beginning, but we're working, we're working through it, and hopefully we'll come back strong in the second quarter.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what's up.
Not to jump in front of anybody, but SJ, let me ask you about that deal. What kind of deal is it? Is it a fix and flip or a turnkey? What?
Flip situation, 2-1. It's in Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
What's the square footage?
But
What's the square footage?
It's like 1,100 square feet.
Okay.
And it's an older couple. They want to be gone with it, Yeah.
What
So
are you asking for it?
I'm asking 33 for it.
Okay. And you got repairs and ARV?
Yeah, the repairs about 28 to 30. And the ARV is 109.
109. You think the current value is above 50, or you think it's the 30? You say 30 or 35, you said, for the purchase? You think it as is
33, as is 33.
Yeah. I know. I'm just saying, like the purchase is one thing, and the value of the property is another thing. Do you think the value would be above 50,000? That's what I'm asking. Even though they're selling it for 30,000.
Say that one more time. I didn't hear you.
Do you think the value of the property is above 50,000, even though they're selling it for only 30? That's what I'm asking. Because it's qualified.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about it, man. I got somebody buying up a lot of property in Alabama from Birmingham to Tuscaloosa, like you said.
Oh, yeah. This is actually our first property in Tuscaloosa. Mostly we do Mobile, Birmingham, but we came across the zip code Tuscaloosa pretty hot, so we came across it, and I got boots on the ground there.
How many miles is that from Birmingham? Do you know?
I think if I'm not too much, like an hour.
An hour or so.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, I'll ask him about it. We'll link up.
Yeah, I'll give you all the information. I got 95 pictures. I do my thing. So I just need to move it because I really want to help this couple. I actually put it on video of exactly what they said when I was on the phone, and he was basically saying, how I told him I put him on hold, right? Like I'm gonna hold on, make sure this offer is good, and I put him on hold, and he was, this will really help us because this will help us save $550 a month, and we could take that money and do something else. So it was like overall providing value, just that's the ultimate providing value for somebody. You know what I mean? So
yeah, definitely let them relinquish something, cash in or something, so they can definitely move on to other and greater things.
It was a good call.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you said 30, and 109. All right. I'll let them know, and I will, get in contact. But in the meantime, I'll shoot the information to my email.
I'll email you everything.
All right.
No problem.
So are we rolling tonight, fellas?
That's how we moving.
With Jay's in the Matrix.
Yeah, he got that one going on.
Yeah. I think he got the itinerary for tonight too, though.
Oh, you do. Mm-hmm. So Jay, what's going on with you? What you got going on this week?
Man, actually looking at some stuff out of St. Louis right now. He's probably gonna end up being buying holes for me. But if I pick these things up, one of them actually is already turnkey, and they want 45 for it. They got a Section 8 tenant that's moving in actually this week that's paying $900. So it's cash flowing right off the bat. So I think we're gonna try to pick that one up.
Nice. Has January been like the first? I don't know. For some reason, I don't know what was with me. It's been pretty slow. Mm-hmm. And I think that when you deal with it, I want to just definitely discuss this because I think wholesaling or real estate investing in general should know about this, right? There's periods or months that there's nothing, right? Yep. And those months are normally November to December, right? No, not even, maybe October to December, right?
It's typically
People are-
October.
Huh?
Typically October, because that's the reason why we do our planning season from September to December.
And I think, Jay, I want you to, like, I know you're really seasoned about it, and also Jarrell, it had caught me off guard at one point,
Yeah.
right? Because I didn't anticipate those months being as slow. And can you tell us why a wholesaler or anybody in real estate would definitely look out for those months and why it would be so slow?
Several reasons. Several reasons, depending on, because everything converges around the calendar year and then also school, right? So children going to school early fall. So by early fall, people are where they want to be. People that move, they generally want to move during the spring, summer months, and then of course, moving into November, touching December, people are preoccupied, got family moving coming in. They're trying to get what they have together rather than dismantle everything and make those type of moves. And then, just because that's on the retail, those aspects that I mentioned affect the retail market, they in turn affect the investor market, then in turn loan market. And then we're going through the last couple of years of kind of unprecedented times in the real estate market. Rates are fluctuating. Last year, every month we were adjusting terms across the terms. I can't even tell you how many different terms and rates we went through last year as far as what they were adjusting from. So a combination of those two things. I always find January is a hit and miss on most years. I guess I'm batting around 60% of Januaries are good months because people are doing their New Year resolution, wanting to hit the new year off right, looking at more properties and whatnot, and anticipating the spring, getting a property in the contract, renovating it through the winter, and then turning it around over by the springtime for that season that I was talking about earlier. So I think that all plays a factor. What do you think, Jay?
Actually, all of that plays a factor in it for sure. One of our biggest things is that most people don't want to be bothered for sure around that time frame.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, they're in what they're in right now, and they don't want to make any moves until they're ready to make those moves.
Taxes
and
are coming up.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say.
Yeah,
they get into that. They're spending all the money that they have. They're in the position that they want to be in right now. Then they know that they also got that influx of taxes that's actually coming in. Mm-hmm. So now things are it's okay for them right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? Things are okay because they've been able to put their own Band-Aid on some of the problems that we would typically go after during that time frame.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so what happens now is that now we've got it's our roller coaster. So now we're on that down slope on our roller coaster, right? And then as soon as their Band-Aid gets ripped off that they've created for themselves, then now our business goes back up. Mm-hmm. And so I typically start seeing that around the end of February into March, where you start seeing a lot more people coming in on the influx and saying, hey, look, okay, I remember talking to you during this time frame, but I wasn't ready, right? But now crunch time has come and I've got to make some decisions.
Definitely.
And so that's where we start seeing it. But the coaching part of this, Sean, to put out there is that everybody needs to also know that just because they're not getting anything, that they still got to continue to market.
I was going to say that. Stay active.
Right.
You have to still continue to actually market because whereas everybody else have stopped and you haven't, now your potential sellers are still knowing who you are during the time where they were okay. Now they're talking to you and you're not starting over. The momentum is not trying to build back up. You already have momentum with those people.
Yeah. What do you
That's
see, Cody?
the hardest thing to do too, bro.
What do you
As-
see, Cody, on the buying mortgage side? Is there a slowdown
yeah.
in those months, Cody?
Yeah, there always is. It's because it's centered around the holidays. Right
Mhm.
in October when everybody's starting to gear up for the Halloween season, going into Thanksgiving and in the Christmas time. One of you guys said it earlier. They don't want to be bothered with that. But the other little thing you can look at, and this is something that we kind of do from a notes perspective, if you guys are able to monitor some of the property taxes. So if people are starting, most property taxes have a payment that's due during that time, either the first half or the second half of the year. And if people start getting behind in their property taxes, that might be a target property to market at because they're starting to show some signs of hardship. And if you can solve the problem, which you guys have been talking about, solving their problem, maybe that's a good time as well, because the marketing is the important part when you're trying to purchase real estate and it's got to be consistent. You can't just shoot one letter out and expect that to have some results. You've got to have an actual campaign and make sure that you have a presence in front of them, on an every 4 to 6 week type basis. But the slowdown generally happens around the holiday time. There's a little bit of winter time still coming in most parts of the country, coming in January, but already here mid-Feb. I can't believe it's mid-February
Yeah,
already.
you say it.
But things are starting to pick up. I'm starting to see more locks, more reservations coming in. And so there's about some things that are starting to gear up for the spring buying season. So, if you've been marketing since October, you're going to start getting some telephone calls.
Definitely.
But this was a time though you separate the investors from the pretenders, right?
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
So this is it. So you're right on time, man. But like Justin said, man, when you get the customer of not marketing anymore, this is start from ground zero, bro. It's hard to get back on. So it's important, man, to kind of level it off a little bit, but continue to do your marketing or whatever the case is. So
Yeah.
when it's time to go, you still ready to rock and roll. You still get stuff that's trickling in, that wasn't there before. While everybody's struggling trying to get up to where they need to be, you're already rolling.
Yeah, and spend those months following up, bringing
Absolutely.
those and putting things in the work. I mean, that's one thing that really helped the last year is that a lot of people I ran into were not actually ready to refinance because they were in the middle of a purchase or they were in the middle of the rehab. But getting those relationships established in my case terms solidified for them throughout the renovation, and then turn around next month ready to now refinance to buy and hold on the property. So maybe that's it's just because something is not cashing in this week it's still a paycheck. As long as you follow up, you can't
That's one of the things we want to talk about today as well, man, about what's the pros and cons of buying and holding right now. Or are there any pros and cons, right? Any cons to it? I know a lot of people doing some strictly wholesaling, man, but is it the time to stop buying and holding? What do you guys think?
There's always time to start buying and holding.
Yeah,
You should always be looking to buy and hold. There's no reason why you shouldn't.
Right. There's certain.
The only time I say maybe not is when the market is just like ballooning. It's just going up. High, you buy things for much more than you would have last quarter.
Right. Well, that's when you sell, though, Jarrell.
That's when you sell. Yeah. He's saying buying. He's saying buy or buy.
Yeah. But even when I'm selling, I'm still buying.
And I think
if that right deal comes around,
buying is like in my territory. When I bought investment properties, I knew that Newark, New Jersey, or in North Jersey, period, we're a renter's market, right? So, and even when the decline came, even when the inflation came and interest rates skyrocketed, a lot of people put on hold buying and they went to renting, right? So their focus was on renting until whatever, right? So I'm always saying buying, holding, keeping things under your belt, 1 or 2, 3 or 4, whatever it is. Always try to find a good deal. Now, here's the best thing about wholesaling real estate is that it teaches you what a good deal looks like. It teaches you what a bad deal looks like if you really learn, right? So the first foundation is the whole concept of wholesaling real estate because it takes you to determine good deals.
Mhm.
So maybe that time when you see a good deal, take it down. I'm always saying wholesale some, hold some, wholesale some, hold some. That's the whole concept of the ability to not only get out of that trap, but just have ownership.
Mhm.
And you know what? That's also the new people too that's coming into the game, right? A lot of times we just think it's strictly wholesaling, man. But sometimes you might run across a phenomenal deal. You try to put yourself in a position to get next to a Jarrell here, right?
Yeah.
And to be able to purchase some of these properties, or get
Yep.
them financing through the regular financing way, or whatever the case is. So you just never know when the deal that comes across your table is a phenomenal deal that you should take down.
I retract what I said earlier about this times because honestly, I'm quite shocked I even said that because all year actually for the last 12 months or maybe even more, I've been really pushing my clients to stop fixing flipping as much. I've been seeing so many of my clients and myself included run through properties and have very few properties, or if any, that are still bringing in income for them. And a lot of people also creating wealth through that equity boom that still, you may have made, 80,000, 60,000, or say 60,000 profit, but you cashed out 40,000 to put into a new deal, just the same as if you would have sold it. So, and now it's income producing. So for your family. So, and I'm shocked I even said that because there's not really any bad time. Just always gotta buy at the right price. That's the key.
Hey, let me
It
throw
all
something at
depends on
you
the
guys. Let me throw something at you guys. A little twist on what you're doing here is, if you're wholesaling predominantly, and then every once in a while you pick up a rental. What I would also say is every once in a while pick up one that you can offer a seller financing deal on.
man.
So if you buy a house, you get some hard money, you fix it up, you sell it to somebody on a wrap contract, and then you can sell that note to somebody like me. And then when I pay you for that note, then you pay off that underlying hard money loan. And then you've got, and so that's one way to do it is that you can sell the financing. And if you happen to keep the note, then you actually now have that type of income coming in as well. So no, you have rental income if you keep the property. If you're doing on seller financing, then you have just that passive income coming in, or you can replenish your capital and pay off the underlying hard money loan by selling that note to a note investor like myself. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So owner financing, the same thing. The seller financing. So it's the same thing, man.
It's the same thing because you're the owner. When you buy that property, you become the owner rather than the seller. The seller is the owner.
Yeah. So hope you guys really understood we're talking to the audience, the people that's listening, right? Hope you guys understand what he was actually saying, man. His name is Cody Cox, man. Look him up. You reach out to me. I'll get him his information, man. This is the way to go. This is the way to kill some deals, man. If you come in this game and all you know is wholesale, right? You run across a phenomenal deal where you get it at dirt cheap, basically. You know it's some skin, it's some meat on the bones, man. How else can you take this thing down and possibly, do some other stuff with it, whatever the case is, man? Contact Cody. Contact him, man. Everybody on this panel, man. We know how to get it done. But so look, a question. So are there any cons in doing owner finance, guys? Let's talk about some of the cons. It can't be all good, right?
Well, it's not all good because sometimes people just don't like to make their payment for whatever reason. I've got one right now that I ended up having to foreclose on it. I've got a lockout scheduled tomorrow. And so that's one that I will eventually take back, and I'll probably sell it to a wholesaler. And this property's in Flint, Michigan. So
that's my hometown right there. I got
it?
you, Cody. That's my home.
Yeah.
I'm from Saginaw, so that's Flint. That's right next door over. So let me ask you a question. So let's kind of dissect that a little bit.
Yeah.
What does that look like? How do you go about those few steps to getting that person out of there in that type of situation?
Well, in this particular situation, it was what's called a contract for deed. So my company was still entitled to the property. I bought a contract where what do they call that? The interest of the property is in the name of that particular buyer. So he had the beneficial interest of the property as the buyer on that. I held the contract, but there was not a transfer of title, and there wouldn't be unless he, completed the contract. In this situation, he hadn't made any payments for a couple of years, and we finally decided we're gonna foreclose on it on a contract. It's called a forfeiture.
Yep.
And so we went through the court process and had an attorney go through the forfeiture process. So we eventually took back the property. This particular homeowner, borrower, at this point in time, he's kind of a squatter, if you will, because he has no interest in the property at this point in time, but he hasn't moved out. So our attorney contacted the local sheriff's office, because they have a department with the local sheriffs who actually handle eviction. So it's handled like an eviction. But then at the same time, they change the lock. So they'll probably clear out most of the personal property in the house, put it out on the curb for him to take care of, change the lock so he cannot gain access. I've got a realtor there right in Flint who's going to take the keys from the sheriff once they do the lockout and change the keys. And then I'll list the property with him as is, and he'll sell it to a local wholesaler or a local rehabber.
Absolutely. Listen, Michigan had, I don't know if they still do, or I know they definitely had the worst for people who are squatters, right?
Yeah.
A person can go on vacation for a week and come back home, somebody moved into their place, man, and it was hell getting them out of there.
I had one in Detroit that actually had two squatters. We got one out before we could really close out the house. I had another squatter in there. So and so I called up I think it was the 7th precinct in Detroit, Michigan, and asked them to get these guys out of there. And he says, "No, what do you want us to do? Work on murders and all these other things, or get this guy out of the house?" So it was a tough deal, but finally we were able to get it out and get that house sold. And actually, I think I sold it to my investor on that because he wanted a rental house. So I probably should follow up with him to see how that materialized. But yeah, there's all sorts of various exit strategies, but there's all sorts of various type of pitfalls that can come into note investing. I've had to advance out several $1,000s to make sure that the county did not foreclose on it from non-payment of property taxes. So sometimes that happens. If the borrower is not making the payment to you, chances are he's not making the property tax payment either.
That's true. That's true. But okay. Could you have got with a servicing company?
It was with a servicing company. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. I put all my stuff in a servicing company because all the legal paperwork and the year-end statements and all that sort of stuff need to come from somebody that's licensed.
Yeah. So we're not trying to scare you guys, right? We just want to let you know that there's some pros and cons to it as well. You just got to make sure that when you decide to do this type of investing, that you kind of, make sure you know what you're doing when it comes to that, or get with somebody who does, that can kind of show you the ropes on what to get done. Now, different states, different things you got to go through.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of legal situations that are involved with mortgages on that side, and I'm sure Jarrell can talk to us about that. I mean, because you're dealing with a contract, you're dealing with, what I deal with is considered a security. And most state security laws talk about ownership of notes as a security, especially if you're buying and selling notes. So yeah, there's a lot of legal ramifications. I have about 5 attorneys in various parts of the country that I work with on a regular basis. Yeah.
Wonderful, man. See, that's some great information right there. Great information, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So look, let's jump right into this thing here, man. Let's talk about 3 types of deeds, guys. Are you guys familiar with? Well, I know you guys are familiar with deeds, right? For sure.
Okay,
I know you guys do all these type of things. I already know what time it is. So
yeah.
Let's talk about a couple of them right here, right? So, a good deed, a general deed, right? Hold on 1 second, man. I got these glasses on. I just put on. I gotta look at the definition, man.
Well, we want to look at you looking at them. So turn the camera.
I just had to come upstairs, right? And I had to come all the way downstairs, but again, so I'm in this room. It's crazy up in this room. And
we need a closing attorney on this podcast too, man. If we want to go into legal documents, that would be the best.
Oh, Johnny?
Yeah, a processor or somebody like on that team.
Okay.
But yeah,
man, where's it at, man?
We'll do our best.
Come on with it, man.
Yeah, come on
Man,
with
I,
it.
I don't even
Come
have
on.
it here, man. I thought I did, man. No, I got the warranty deed. Okay, a legal document used when a piece of real estate is sold and the ownership is transferred from the grantor to the seller to the grantee to the buyer. So that's what a warranty deed. So, what's the benefits of that, of having the warranty deed, or general deed, I guess you say.
Just really the only and from what I am exposed to, it's the only way to really buy a property, and have um, uh, full equity in the property. As far as transferring from the seller to you, um, there are a lot of different pitfalls you can say as far as old taxes. There's things that come along with buying properties that everyone should know about, title insurance, things like that. Owner's title insurance is very, very important. But it's basically a document that you're going to receive at the closing office that you need to keep with you and file. That's going to be also recorded in your county. That states that you are the current owner of the property. From my understanding, you guys can
Yeah.
fill in more.
And to add on top of that, the name kind of implies as far as a general warranty deed, because the seller is warranting to the buyer that is a transferable, marketable deed property without any other liens attached to it. So you're guaranteeing that by your warranty. And that's why the
That's key.
important part of it is if you're selling the property that you pay for as the seller an ALTA policy, title insurance policy. So you have that insured by whoever your title policy is. So, if you're being asked to sign a warranty deed, yes, you should do that, but you should also have the appropriate title insurance to accompany that will actually warrant your title transfer as well.
Yeah.
Facts. So
Yeah.
they basically saying that it's a clear title,
Yeah.
but still
Right.
Yeah.
cover your butt.
Yeah.
Some people that don't want to buy owner's title insurance when they close on properties. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's
It protects
amazing.
them in the long run. I mean, that's
It's
the deal. If something
amazing.
happens 2 years ago and all of a sudden 2 years from now and there's a claim that comes up on it, that the title insurance company missed, they're going to pay that claim.
I run into a number of people who say, I want to, every time I talk them out of it, like pay that money for it. It's
Yeah.
you're saving yourself tens of thousands of dollars.
Absolutely.
Over a couple hundred of dollars,
Here's another one, man.
Quick
All right.
claim deed.
We talk about the quick claim deed. So it's
Everyone likes those.
Yeah. I know Jason got some things on that already.
Everyone wishes
So
they could claim
specific
deed.
type of deed that's released whatever interest is owned by the person signing the deed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I remember Jason was telling about a situation.
We did. We used to do them all the time.
Okay.
And quick claim deeds is actually one of our lists that we go after
Mhm.
to pick up property.
I had a guy who did a quick claim deed. It was in Hillside, New Jersey, and he didn't know, because I told him, you do a quick claim deed, you are responsible for whatever is on that property. Okay? Don't think it's going to be something where you're going to have any protection. It's $1, whatever they did, but you are still responsible, and keep that in mind. And he didn't. He was an older dude, and he didn't know, because he did a really quick claim deed. He didn't know, and I think that's the distinction between a regular warranty deed and a quick claim deed, is that you're responsible whatever is on that house.
Yeah.
That's correct. It doesn't warrant against any sort of issues on title from the transfer. Typically, you would use a quick claim deed when it's like an inter-family type thing, such as, let's say a man owns the property outright. He gets married, wants to put his wife on title. Then he would quick claim a portion of interest to her. That would be the only real time that it's very prudent. We use quick claim deeds when we're doing some transfer of contract for deeds type situations from the seller of that particular contract to the buyer. But since there is, as it was stated, since there's no warranty involved in that, you'll put yourself at risk for subsequent claims that may come up against the title of that property.
Yeah, and the title search, that's the first thing you can do to see if there's any balances owed on the property. But like we're trying to express that it's not, if anything's missed, basically it'll still fall back on you. It's not insured or warranted in any means. So or title insurance wouldn't be able to cover it either. I don't really come involved too much at the acquisitions of a quit claim. Normally I'm dealing with individuals trying to refinance or something on a property that they have quit claim. So there's certain regulations and qualifications for those type of acquisitions. Normally seasoning. People aren't really aware of seasoning. It's by lender's requirements, so it does vary from 6 months. It could be, typically, you're not going to really find. I haven't found anybody that does, no seasoning period on a quit claim deed, but 6 months to a year typically, and meaning that you have to become vested in the property, paying taxes, have been responsible for the taxes accruing for that time. So just keep that in mind. That it's not a process that you just can typically just turn around and cash on the equity of the property. You definitely can rent it out and make that type of income.
That's
but
what I do.
Equity wise, you'll have to hold the property for.
Yeah.
Forward.
Yeah.
I don't
wanted
even
to
worry
ask-
about it.
Jay, I wanted to ask you. You said that's what you typically go after. Like, I'm like, okay. Can you explain? Like, okay, you just go after as far as in what way? Like, in what way would it benefit, let's say, an investor like myself?
Well, just like Jarrell, I'm sorry, I think it was Cody, where they say they do intertransfer or family transfer. Well, some people that don't want to pay an attorney or is not savvy will go and do a quit claim deed thinking that they don't have to go through probate.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So
Right.
I can go and pull county information and get those quit claim deeds that have been filed. And then we actually contact them to see if they actually want to sell it.
Because everyone's trying to cash in. I mean, not everyone, but most times, most times people trying to cash on the property. I mean, like you said, it's typically between family, but like I said, I come in contact after the acquisitions of it. But from how they normally come is from like just people wanting to get rid of a property and an investor being at the right place in those maybe they work something out on the back end. I don't know. I don't typically know why someone would quit claim a deed to an investor, but
I do it that way though, Jarrell, when I run into where the deal doesn't fit a wholesale. Typically it doesn't fit wholesale. It's never going to get financed because it's got tax liens, it's got IRS liens and stuff on the property, and it actually needs work, so it's never going to meet value. So I'll take it over quit claim. Typically give the homeowner some cash, maybe not all the cash, but some cash for it, because I don't plan on selling it immediately.
Okay.
So I'll take it, and then in some cases, when like if it's an IRS lien, which we got one right now on a property that we took over subject to, but we're getting the IRS to do a settlement on that one. I mean, it's taken us 3 years, but they're gonna do a settlement on that IRS lien that's on the property. Huh?
Yeah, it's worth it. It even takes 3 years.
Right. It's worth it. So yeah, I take them over on the quit claim deed because I know I'll still be able to fix the property up. Right. I'll be able to put a renter in the property. It's still going to cash flow. Eventually, one day I'm going to be dead, and it doesn't matter, even if I kept it.
So you leave those liens in place. So you leave.
You leave.
Yeah, because the liens won't get paid unless the property has sold.
Oh, right. Okay.
So
Gotcha.
I just hold on to it.
And of course, it all is about how much those balances are.
Right.
I mean, in some cases, at this point, like, hey, look, I'm now the new owner of this property. You got this lien. I call them. You got this lien on this property, right? It's this much. What is it going to take for us to settle?
Yeah.
Well, and the other part of it is there's certain types of liens, many liens, like an IRS lien, follow the person, not the property. So if
Right.
you're able to deal
Oh
with
yeah.
the IRS on that and say, I'm the new owner of it, they transferred it, it follows the person. And so, a lot of different ways that'll get removed.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that, but that
Yeah,
just
I didn't know that neither. I just learned something.
It
Okay.
saved me for a deal
Yeah. Yeah.
about maybe I think back in November where it quit claimed it, and then the person was trying to sell it, but then found out the person they quit claimed it from had IRS taxes or something like that. Well, ultimately, her attorney spoke with the IRS and got it separated from the property.
Absolutely.
So
That's exactly
personally,
right.
So now he was able to sell that or refinance the property.
Yep.
He got quit claim.
Yeah,
So
I never knew that, man. I never knew there was
yeah.
something you can actually do.
A lot of times I'm on the back channel. I'm on the other side
Yeah.
of how things work out and not really understanding what legal things took place with the lawyer and the attorney did. Thanks for putting that up.
Yeah, well, they do that. They do that sometimes when you'll see it on some liens that you pull up. You'll actually see where the husband or the wife has transferred it over to the husband or the wife, right? Because the other one's going to file bankruptcy, and they don't want that. They don't want that asset included in that bankruptcy.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna try that angle. I appreciate that, Jay, man. I didn't even think that.
Yeah, they do it all the time, and so that's one of those lists that most people don't think about. And when my VA goes to look through the public records and pull that information, that's what we look for. And then we also look for power of attorneys. I'll throw that out there too.
This guy.
That's pre-probate when they look for the power of attorney, because now a new power of attorney has been established over someone else's finances.
Man.
So the person's not deceased yet. So, but they've given financial ability to someone else, and so we pull those power of attorneys as well.
Yeah. See, man, you're filling up someone's search engine right now. Oh, well, I need to check that one. Campaign that one. Yeah, man. That's gems right there, because a lot of people don't think about that, and not all.
So let me say this real quick. So this Mid-City Network, right? And none of us are attorneys. This is entertainment purposes only. So you take that information for what whatever, right? But this is entertainment purposes only.
Yeah. Fact check it, and take it and make it your own. Because basically what he's saying right now is like we just basically went over like 4 or 5 different ways to acquire properties or to search for properties for you new investors into the market, right?
In the middle of just talking about quick claim deals.
In the middle of talking about quick claims, right? So just really, you have your ones, you pretty much got you interested in real estate, right? Just rewind, hear what Jay said, just research about how you can capitalize on those type of leads, okay? And just take that and put it into your next campaign and research it. Now, research, that's the key word. Just don't, this is all I know, is all Jay said. No, find out a lot more of what we're talking about.
Absolutely.
And then, but I'm telling you, that's how you compound in the way that you actually start acquiring properties. Because just because you're a wholesaler doesn't mean that you can't buy notes also.
Exactly.
All you need is the knowledge.
And that's why I always say, man, if a person is motivated and they really want to sell their property, we can acquire the property. If they're willing to take terms, they're willing to, allow us to think outside the box to get the deal done, we can get it done. Simple as that.
Yep. Always be done.
Absolutely. All right.
Ooh, subject to
deals. Are they still illegal in Texas? What's going on?
They've never been illegal.
How are we doing these in Texas? So how are we doing them now, man?
It's not illegal. Okay, it can't be illegal for something when it's actually on a federal document, which is your HUD.
Yeah.
Okay, it's on the HUD statement that we're taking over this subject to the existing loan. Most people in Texas think that it's illegal because they start talking about the due on sale clause.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
How do you get around the due on sale clause? Is what most people. Well, there ain't no way to get around it. Okay. you just be straightforward with it. What we typically do is we send a letter to the bank with the money and with a check in their arrears and say if they cash the check, then they are agreeing to us taking over the property and the transfer of the deed.
You know what that's called, ladies and gentlemen? Agreements to partial performance.
Say it again.
Agreements to partial performance. All right, let me tell you another thing about agreements to partial performance that Jay hit on, right? Is that people don't know, like, as long as, say, for instance, you have a closing date coming up, and on contract, it says the first of the month, right? But then you running into some problems with closing the property, and you get in contact with the sellers, and you tell them, hey, I'm not going to be able to close to the 5th. Now, I didn't know this at first, but it saved my butt in a deal. Because of that transmission has been made and accepted or received by the other party, and they do not cancel the contract when you stated that you cannot close by the 1st, they now have moved forward with agreeing to partial performance. And that alters, without amendment or anything like that, agreeing to them acknowledging that they are going to close now on said 5th of the month. So just everyone, you know, if you know those little things, then you can actually, not typically, like, I'm saying you can use them because you don't want to exploit things. And of course, you know, but you don't want to be placed in a situation that you don't understand either.
But it falls under all of it falls under the law of contract.
Yeah.
That's it. So if you know the basics, then you're fine. But like Jarrell said, don't be going around here knowing that you can do it, so you just do it all willy-nilly because you think that you can. Because now you're misrepresenting yourself, and that will get you in trouble.
Yeah.
So let's say this. So Jason, well, this to everybody, but no, Jason made a statement about it. You know, you just cut the check and they cash it. It's on, right?
Yeah.
So what if
send them a letter?
What if you don't have the funds though?
You'll find the funds.
Raise the funds.
You will find the funds. We find everything else. We can find the funds. Okay.
Absolutely.
My first deal was with a credit card, man.
Yeah. Man,
my first subject too. I did it with a credit card.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, you find the deal, the money will come.
The banks are not in the business of taking back property. They're in the business of lending. So the more that they have a property, right, that's on their books, they're ready to get rid of it. They cannot lend. Them holding property excludes them from lending 10 times, 3 times more.
Okay.
All right, out. So if they don't care, as long as that payment is paid, they don't care. A lot of them don't trigger the due on sale clause. But if there is a situation, then there's different ways in order to do that, right? But again, the banks are not in the business of taking property at all.
It says may.
What?
It says may exercise their option to do on sale.
I've never seen that happen before, actually. I've heard
the reason why
I've never even seen it happen.
I've only seen it happen once, but it wasn't me, but I've only seen it happen once, Jarrell. But that was before everything happened in 2008.
Yeah.
That was before everything happened in 2008. Yeah. Now, after that, and Dodd-Frank, the SAFE Act, and all of that stuff happened. Okay, now the banks have to get permission in order to do that.
Yeah.
So, because of the insurance that they have on these on these loans, they have to get permission to do it. They don't want to go through the trouble of all of that. So, well, let's take the money because we got to account for our shareholders. Here it is. That's why I send the letter. That's why I send the letter with the check, certified. Somebody got it. Somebody read it. You cashed my check. Because if not, it says void and send back to me. If you do not agree with this, void and send the check back to me. They don't ever send that check back.
Yeah. So we talk about the due on sale clause, but what about the alienation clause, right? So technically, based on the contract that we signed when you're doing a mortgage, if you move from that place, they can actually accelerate the loan, right? But like you say, they never will really do that. As long as they continue to get paid, there's no reason why they're gonna even look at to see who's paying it. It's getting paid. It is a positive. What they call it. It is a good asset, right?
It's a
Basically, you say.
performing asset. is
Performing
what it is.
asset. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a
So
performing asset.
typically what's going to happen, depending on the type of underlying first mortgage you're dealing with, if it does have certain owner occupancy requirements, those are the ones that might likely be selected for a due on sale clause. Conventional loans, not so much. And whether it be a FHA, VA, or conventional loans, most of those are going to require owner occupancy only for the first year. After that, they don't have that requirement on it, unless it's a specialty type of loan, like the ones that I get, during my day job, and we lend money out to veterans here in the state. It requires owner occupancy for the life of the loan, and so if we do get one of these type of things, we go after them, but generally it resolves itself before we get too far down the road. But that's kind of the key. What usually triggers a bank to kind of get goosey about that is when an insurance policy comes in and it's got a different name of the insured on it. So one of the things you'll want to make sure is that you don't change the name of the insured, who is the original borrower of that loan, but add your name as the insured. And have that updated and sent into the lender from the insurance company. So if there's a change of insured, that could be a trigger for the due on sale, for them acknowledging that it's been a property sale. The better thing to do is just add your name to the existing policy.
I would just put it in a
That's
trust.
a jewel.
And you know
That's a
that,
jewel
you know what
you
that's
just
called?
said, guys.
You know what that's called? That guy just prevented you from shooting yourself in the foot just there.
That was a jewel, bro. I never thought about it like that. That is so true.
Yeah.
So okay, so what? So
you
what
gotta
about
think,
okay?
you gotta follow the thread of what's going to be delivered, and then you'll
Yeah.
see it clearly. Like what is going to be delivered to what source, what entity, and not saying basically I like Jay's approach. You know why? Because I've never thought about it, but Jay's approach is actually what my mama always said: tell the truth, tell on yourself before anyone else could tell on yourself. He always told me that. And believe me, and it's true. I love to hear the truth from the person who did it rather than I hear from someone else about
That's
what they did.
Mama.
Yes.
My mind is wondering about how bad of a person you are. But if you're telling me the truth, then now I know who I'm dealing with. So I like Jay. I like your approach, man. Hit him with a letter, let him know, and then hey, if you need to accelerate things, now you know what you're dealing with. But it's not. You don't have anything that's
Hey, send me my money back, though.
Yeah,
Go send that money back and do what you need to do. That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah,
man. So we're talking about these different types of deals, right? These different thinking outside the box. So how do you guys determine what is the hot market to go get these type of properties?
How do we make the determination?
Yes, how you make the determination?
That's a long explanation there,
yeah.
Jay.
Yeah, I mean, okay, we got a couple people on here watching, right? We got some rookies. That's the first thing they ask me.
Okay.
Where do I go get these properties at?
Can I answer this first? Can I try to answer this first?
I'll tell everybody who's starting out, start in your own backyard.
I said,
you.
Yeah, man. I said, at least go touch them first.
Stop being. Don't go ahead of schedule or ahead of yourself, because you see that virtual sexy. Learn your market. You have to learn a market, and the best market you can learn is your own. Right? Start in your own backyard. Now, if you with farms and animals and Bambi, then I can understand that. But if you're like in an area that is, has population, start learning your market. Go in your own backyard and start there. And then when you start learning, then you could be able to say, okay, I'm gonna stick my foot in this virtual market. But I always tell a person, you got acres of diamonds in your own backyard.
I like that.
What about this age, SJ? What about if their backyard, they do well. They've done well. And they live in a nice area where it depends on, I guess what you're saying is like if you're starting with wholesaling or you're starting with acquiring property. Now, if you're starting with trying to acquire property, then what about if your market is too expensive? Because now you need financing, or you
We're
need.
talking about wholesaling. I'm talking about wholesaling.
Yeah, starting
and
your market,
and
definitely.
stop, people go into different markets and they just because it's so set, because it's so well profound that people are doing it. Yeah, it could be done, but to start off, learn your market. There's acres of dime in your market. You're skipping opportunities in your own market. That's why I
Definitely.
would never leave Jersey. I would never, ever, ever leave Jersey because there's so much out here. You know what I'm saying? And they know me. They know me.
You speak
I
their
grew up.
language.
They know me. I went to school here. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So yeah, man, bro, there's too much opportunity everywhere. Start in your own backyard, work around, learn your market, learn at least what the medium house price minimum is.
Yeah.
Learn
Yeah.
what the single family. You should know. Like I have buyers that I deal with, and they're great. I've dealt with buyers and I close with them. And the one thing that I'm impressed about is they can go and say, I can say I have a 3-1 in so and so. Oh, I know that's only 325. Oh, that's cap is 125. Like they know what that market cap is. Like they know where that territory, and that's impressive to me because that's exactly where you need to have mastery at.
Definitely. That embodies of what I'm going, what I had to say. Like, I guess that's come before. Like after you have done your preliminary analysis on the market, how much the average homes are costing, and the range of those houses from 4 bedrooms to 2 bedrooms to multifamilies and whatnot. What can you pick properties up for? Then I would say contact me.
Yes.
Because then I can tell you how much you can afford to buy.
Right. Yeah.
Now, if you have your own cash and you got a couple $100,000 in the bank, then you don't need to call me probably. But if you don't, then call me, because I have a lot of people that I see until they get kind of like sizzled down. They kind of all over the place at first, where they got $20,000, but they're looking at $400,000 properties purchased. You don't have enough money for down payment for that type of property, so you're kind of wasting your time. Maybe you're sharpening your knife, but you're definitely wasting your time on a property that's going to be picked up. Okay. So learning your average market and then learning the rates of and how expensive the money is to do your financing is a key part in acquiring properties. Wholesaling and where to start. You guys definitely got the pace on that, and how to start on that.
What would you say? Would you guys say the kind of the beginning budgeting for marketing would be roughly for a person just starting out? Or how? I mean, yeah, I guess you can say that part. And I'll add something to it later on.
Take what you got and use it.
Yep.
Like there's no set budget for anybody. I can't say, hey, you need $500 every month to do this. I could tell you that if you came with me with $100, I'd still be able to tell you what to do with that $100. If you've got $50, take the $50 and use it. Okay. Now, understand, I said a word, use. I didn't say spend. I said use it. Because the $50 is an investment into something, and you've got to use it. Okay. We're not buying systems. You don't need that yet. Okay. When we're talking about marketing, you can take $50, and we've actually started with some of the other guys that we went back old school, man. We go and buy the big jumbo Post-it notes and a marker.
Yeah.
And we'll write on there, okay, and put it on their house. That thing costs what, $14 for a pad, okay, and a marker $2.
Okay. Absolutely.
I say, you know what? I like what Jay was saying. It's basically you gotta come with your mind ready, and you gotta be committed.
Yeah, man.
You gotta come with your mind ready and ready to be committed, because marketing. If you're committed, it has to be creative.
Right.
It
There's
has to be.
creative
Has
ways
to be, bro.
to
Here-
be able to market with little to no cost.
Here's what I was
How,
told a long time ago: that if
how
you can't earn money without money, then you can't earn
Yes,
it with
sir.
it.
That's facts. That's facts. Because when you do get money, all you're doing is throwing money at a problem. You're not really trying to solve a thing, right? And it's true. You got to get out there and you got to go out there and get it, bro.
Yeah.
I use the analogy, man. If you stand on the corner and ask everybody who passed by you on a busy street for $20, eventually somebody gonna give you $20. They're gonna give it to you, man. I see you out here every week asking for 20, but I'm gonna give you this $20. You know? That's how you gotta be. You gotta be a little annoying. You gotta when you're out there, you gotta be out there. You can't just be out there just kind of going through the motions. You gotta get out there and go get it. And figure out a way to do it, man. I mean, like I remember when I first started, man, I ordered some business cards. And I used to hit Walmart, and I'm just sitting out there at Walmart putting business cards on every one of these people windshield. You
Home
know what I'm
Depot?
saying?
Home
Oh,
Depot. I did
Home
it at
Depot.
Home Depot.
All these different places, man. I got magnet signs that's on my car that I've been having for years, bro. I paid $100 for it. I've been having for years, man. And it's, bro, I was doing Uber and Lyft years ago. People hopping in my car, I was giving them business cards. I was out there hustling, making money, still hustling, bro. And I'm in neighborhoods that normally wouldn't go in, so I'm out there writing down address and all. Come on, man. If you want to get it done, bro, you can get it done.
Yeah.
And it don't take a whole lot of money. Stop the excuses and go in the bathroom, look at that person in the mirror, and tell them it's you who's stopping me from getting where I need to go.
That's right. That's
It ain't
right.
the lack of money in my pocket. It's you.
Yep.
Now get him out your way, and you can have stuff, bro. You can have it.
I agree, 100%. I think that's what like I said, you got to have a mind and you got to be prepared to be committed. The equity is time, energy. That's the equity. That's the major equity, time and energy. But you got to be creative, right? You got to creative. That's why I always tell somebody when everybody's telling me, "Oh, how can you deal in Jersey or anywhere? It's so saturated." I never believed that because I believe that there are wholesalers or there are people who are investing that are not on the ball. I'm gonna outwork you. There's a lot of people that are just in it just for the cheers and I'm not in it for that.
Hey,
right?
Sean. The next time somebody asks you or tell you, "Hey, look, the market is saturated,"
Yeah.
have them to explain it to you.
Oh,
That's what I do now. Oh, really? Tell me why.
Yeah.
Because they can't explain it to you.
mhm.
They're going based off of how many people is in a Facebook group that's in an area. They're going based on what they actually see that somebody's marketing or saying that we buy properties, but we don't know when they just got in the game.
Exactly.
They just put them signs out there yesterday. They probably started last night. I have no idea. Okay. But I know what I'm worth and I know what I'm good at, and they can't be any better than me.
That's right. That's right.
Right.
And when you're educated about what your craft, about this wholesaling thing, right? When we able to see a property, we able to put offers, 4, 5, 6 different offers on one particular property. The person who regularly have just wholesaling skills or whatever the case is, that can't do subject twos, who can't do owner finance, who can't do these other different things, you're gonna win no matter what. You got multiple offers, you put it together, and you're solving people problems. So, and here's the thing too. People who have been in wholesaling probably for a long time, eventually they may want to get out of wholesaling and get into some, to something different, maybe multi-family, whatever. So that space that they took, that they got and went off with it, I'm still filling that space. So it's always room, it's always deals. People always in situations. It's always something that you can focus on, man, to get a deal, bro. It's always people get divorced every single day.
As long as people have problems,
Yeah,
I'm
man.
there. I'm
People
there.
get
As long as
divorced
people
every
have wants and desires, that's really it's a ridiculous statement. I feel what you're trying to get at. That it's hard out there for you.
It's hard everywhere.
But it's not to say that there's no dollars being made in real estate, because that's
what I could say. If you're in a small city, and you may have, it may be not as much, right?
Yeah.
But just if you go 50 miles left, north, east, west, or southeast, there's another market right there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You ain't got to go. You can go 20 miles. You know what I'm saying? So it's no excuse.
There's
There's no excuse, man.
No excuse. I don't think there's any excuse for me. I feel like there's no excuse for you to even be broke. Not in this day and time.
Yeah.
Not in this day and time. It really isn't. There's
Cody,
there's too
go
much.
ahead.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead, SJ. Go ahead.
No, I
SJ.
was saying that it's just where the way social media is and people can be able to make money from home. There's no excuse, bro. So it's just you, like you said, get out your own way. Know that there's methods to be able to get money, to be able to, and it's not even to get money. It's just to be able to provide a future for yourself. That's all. To make it better than what you got.
Yeah.
That's it.
I got this list called 25 ways to find real estate deals, like online. So reach out to me. I can show you some ways to get it done, bro. So, but Cody, what do you think in what you do, man? Do you think it's oversaturated? Do you think the market is drying up?
Again, I come from a different perspective than buying real estates when I'm buying notes. But one of the things back in the days when I was doing some wholesales, it was always kind of fun as you're driving for dollars and you see a house that looks interesting, it's vacant, it's unkept, and maybe that's when you want to send a letter to the owner. You know, I'd pound one of the "We Buy Houses" signs with my phone number right in the front yard. Because that way you see the people driving by, they're going to see that. Maybe they have one, but then the owners of that house are going to see the "We Buy Houses" sign right there in the front yard. And that generally can elicit some sort of response one way or the other. So you have to be prepared for it if it's going to be an adverse response. But in the no business, my marketing is kind of twofold because I'm looking to raise capital. So I have to find a very elegant way to talk to investors. I have a list of about 5,000, I think it is, of self-directed IRA investors who have used their IRA for investing in properties. So that's one of the marketing that I have. Also have to understand, and this is where it gets a little bit technical, is again, this treated like a security. And so if you're marketing without following the property security guidelines, then you run yourself a possibility to get in trouble by your state financial agency or perhaps the SEC itself. And so you have to be real careful about how you market if it's termed a security in that regards. The other things that I market to is I'm marketing to note sellers. So I do some marketing to hedge funds or certain banks or savings and loans and things like that. So I don't market to individual property owners because that's not who my target market is. So it's a little different concept, but the whole thing for marketing comes down to the kind of the same idea, is that select who your target market is and market to that group. You just can't blanket market, although that, the USPS will allow you to put a delivery in a certain zip code and they'll put the same thing in the mailbox of everybody within that zip code. You guys have all got those yourself when you pick up the mail. So you can do it in that fashion, but I'm not sure that's the biggest bang for your buck. So it's all a matter of making sure you know who you need to market to, who you want to market to, and then being consistent about that. But I don't think the market's drying up. I think that we're also starting to see a little bit more foreclosures starting to come off, even though there's equity in the property. There's still some hard times. Inflation has caused some folks to have some financial hardship. So I think there's some opportunities going to present themselves here during the course of this summer and into the fall.
But just like Cody talked about, man, when that money gets short a little bit and what tends to happen, that's the biggest thing of divorce, right? When money get low, right? So What that means, what that tell you, those people who are in the situations gonna need a divorce attorney, right? So let's say if you would pull up top divorce attorneys in your particular zip code, and you give them a call, or better yet, stop by the office and say, listen, what do you do with the people who need to sell their properties immediately? Right? Because that's not time. Because that's what I'm saying. That's what they want to do, is go ahead and sell these properties, because they, let's say the husband go out and he does something he shouldn't do, right? And let's say the wife come in and say, I want a divorce. I just want to sell everything. I want to be, I want to be a part of this whole deal, right? And as long as that property's in her name, she probably can't pay for it herself because they got it based on both of their income, right? So it's destroying their credit or destroying or depleting their savings, right? You come in this deal and say, hey, Mr. Attorney, I'm a local investor. I can get a deal closed in 7 to 14 days. Send me over the deals that you need to get done ASAP, and I got your finder's fee. Guess what happens? You close one of them deals with him, every person that comes to your door needs to sell a property. Guess what? He's going to come to you. Whether they're going to a realtor and hope it sells, it may be on the market for 6 months, right? They want to get done with this property. Send it to me. Let me see what I can do with it, and you get it done. That's what I'm talking about. You can literally sit at your dining room table and call up every divorce attorney in the great state of Texas. Sit down. That don't cost you no money. It costs you a little time, a little skills, a little know-how. That's it. So no, you don't need no money to close a deal.
Nah, you really don't.
Better to email them.
Yeah, I agree with you. But if it's in your neighborhood, if you can stop by and kind of talk to the lady that's in the front, sweet talk, whatever you need to do, right? And then hopefully you get an audience with the attorney. Probably not, but if you do, that's great. But at least know who you need to be sending this email to. Who's going to read it? Who's going to put this in front of this guy when this needs to be done? And do your follow up. Hey, man, I'm just reaching out to you. You know how that go, man.
Yep.
But also, one more thing. So we talk about property management companies the same way. Property management companies, man, that was a diamond in the rough. When a person has 20 properties, he said, you know what, I don't want to deal with real estate no more. I want to go off to the sunset. He contacted his property management company and said, listen, I'm out of real estate. I'm going to get a cryptocurrency, right? And the first thing that property management company does is say, hey, man, I'm about to lose 30% of all these properties because this guy about to leave. Now, if you've been going by this property management company in your neighborhood, popping popcorn when they're having parties, you out there popping popcorn, blowing a balloon, shoveling the snow, whatever you need to do, the first thing you'll think about SJ. Hey, man, I know you ain't real estate, man. I know you deal with investors. I'm going to give you this plug, right? And hopefully the person who buys it from you will keep it there, and we can continue to make this money.
We just did 2 houses like that, Jay.
Man, I'm telling you, it's phenomenal, bro.
And it was by accident.
Any investor in this,
that's how it comes all the time. It's always by accident. It's just about who you know. And, oh man, you know what? Here's a plug for you.
Well, actually, it wasn't. I was cold calling.
Yeah.
Any person is in real estate
with one of my students.
That's true.
Oh, like that. That's an accident.
Mm-hmm.
Any person that's in real estate that don't know. I would say the management company in your neighborhood. You're not really in real estate. That's money over there. That's money over there, bro. They manage a whole lot of properties, or they wouldn't have their doors open. Mm-hmm. And not just residential, but commercial too. But you just got to go there and build a relationship, man. Take them some breakfast, man. Take some donuts. I want to introduce myself. Do it once a month till they know you by your name. So I got 25 of those. I send them out to whoever need them. So
do that with realtors too.
Yep, expired listings, realtors as well.
No, I'm saying
just regular calls. Yeah,
going in and actually setting up because they have morning meetings.
Yeah,
whenever they have their morning or their weekly meeting, go in there and talk to the broker. Bring them breakfast, donuts, whatever it is you're going to bring them, and do your little 10-15 spiel in their meeting, and then get some pocket listings from them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So now understand this too. Every new person that's out there, I know it can be a little daunting sometimes, right? You're just starting something new. But just on the other side of fear is success. You got to be willing to go the extra mile. If you're not willing to go the extra mile and you're not a people person, you need to get away from real estate. Period. It's not for you. You know what I'm saying? It's not for you. Just keep it real, man. So I love it, man. I love it.
This is a people's business. You got to be able to speak to people and dig into their situation, right? Because they're gonna have situations. But again, you gotta step in their shoes. I always tell people that I talk to, think about it. They're gonna feel so they're gonna have different type of emotions. You're telling them that they're gonna have their means is by getting rid of their home, right? They probably been in that home for 25 years. Think about that emotion, right? I remember I was telling you how I was across the street. I went to a lady's house and I was doing the deal, and across the street from her house was this house that was so it was a tear down. And I was telling the lady that I was speaking to, like, who owns that house across the street? And she said There's a lady in Florida that owns that house across the street, and she will not sell it because her son died in that house.
Wow.
She don't care. Knockdown, it could be coming. She gonna continue to pay whatever she needs to pay, because again, these people have emotional ties to these houses. So we gotta really talk to people. This is a people's business. If you don't like talking to people, I never understood why people say, I don't like talking to people, or I'm not a people person. What? Everything you do to people.
Everything.
Every dime you get, everything that you get is going to be with and through people. So how can you not be a people person?
Yeah, I
So
feel you, bro.
you just gotta have a different mindset, bro.
Yeah, man. I tell you, man. Real estate is definitely it, man. If you guys have a passion for it, man, go for it. Go for it. And if it takes you, let's say if it takes you a year, right? So let's do this. To do your first deal, how long did it take you to do your first deal? I think we did this before, but let's kind of reiterate this again. How long did it take you to do your first deal? 4 months?
Let me think. I started in I think in November and closed on my first house in July. So what's that? Yeah, about 8 months. 7 months. Yeah. Yep.
I can't remember.
Yep.
I would say about 4 months, 4 or 5 months, or something like that. I think I can't remember, bro. To be honest with you,
4 months, and I got fined before my 4 months. Before I closed my deal, I got fined $2,500 for putting the banner sign in Irvington.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I got that shit too. Okay,
Yeah.
So before I
how much did it cost?
I even got my deal, I got fined. What?
How much did they charge you?
Man,
how
they
much did they
charged me
charge
in
you?
Irvington, New Jersey. They charged me $2,500. That was how much the ticket. I went to the court. Now you would think that would make me like, yo, I ain't dealing with this no more. I ain't with this. No, you got to go through that. Like that's just part of the process.
Yeah.
I went to the court. I pleaded my case. Like I don't know why. I never knew that you couldn't put signs on the poles. I didn't understand. He looked at my face. He knew that I didn't know, but he reduced the ticket. It was from $2,500 to $189.
Oh man, deal! I take that.
I said, you got it.
Who's the clerk? Is the clerk that way?
Man,
Look at that face.
Yeah. Let me say this before Jason say something. Jason told me this the other day, not too long ago. He said, man, they call bandit signs, bro. Think about that. They banned it. We don't supposed to be doing it. Never even registered in my head. That's what that meant.
Because you drop it, it's really littering because a lot of people just leave them,
Man.
You gonna go pick them up.
I was out there doing it too, but I ain't never get caught though. They used to take my number off of it though.
But I only did 10 because I could only afford 10. I went to Dirty Cheap Signs, got 10. I'm dead ass serious. I could only afford 10. I put it out, but my signs was different. And I think that's why I stood out, because my sign said, don't cry, we buy.
Oh,
that was my thing.
So
everybody else had we buy houses, blah, blah, blah. And mine stood out. Mine was yellow. And it was orange and white.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of stood out, right? I get it. So, and I put it right next to abandoned houses. So I'm thinking I'm good money. Man, that motherfucker took a picture of my shit. I got it in the mail. I thought it was a joke.
Oh, yeah, I did have a code enforcement call me one time, but it was a Google voice number, so I was like, forget that. He can't find me.
Oh, but I didn't even tell you the real trick. How he got me was, the code enforcer acted like, I think I told you.
Oh.
The code enforcer acted like that he had a property that his mother wanted to sell.
Wow.
Wow.
So
that borders on entrapment.
Basically. So when he called me, because remember, I just started. I was like maybe a month in, and I got that call.
Yeah, going at it.
I'm thinking I'm on the 10 banner signs. I'm on top of the game. People call me. So the dude called me, was like, yo, yeah, I got a mother, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, I'm setting appointments and like, okay, when can I meet you? I'm doing everything correctly as the YouTube says. So, so I'm saying, yo, let's meet up 10 o'clock. I couldn't do it because I was working full time, so I couldn't be no morning thing. So I had one of my friends' sister go out there and look at the property.
Oh, man.
She arrives to the property
Me locking
and
her
there's
up.
cops there.
Wow.
Man.
So yeah, I didn't even close my deal, bro. I didn't even close
Of
any
course
deal.
not.
Hey, Sean, you should have known better with that, man. Y'all can't even pump y'all own gas, man. So you know.
So what's funny, G, is we're the same way in Oregon. We can't pump our own gas in Oregon.
I knew that, but you hadn't said nothing for me to say anything about that.
Yeah. I'll get there. I'll get there.
It's crazy.
All right, Jay.
Yeah.
How long it take you, Jay?
Oh man, I don't even remember, man. I think about a year.
About a year.
If I'm not mistaken, it was about a year, and it was $500 later. Okay. So yeah, it was a rough year, and yeah.
Was you working full time?
Yeah, I was working full time.
Okay. Okay.
I was working full time. Again, back then, man, there was no such thing as bulk skip tracing. This is back, 2003, 2004, man. There was no such thing as bulk skip tracing. There's no.
So you was in Yellow Pages.
And I was in Yellow Pages, and I was downtown. Okay, I was pulling my own stuff. Up at night, skip tracing, going to work in the morning, doing breaks and lunch. I'm making cold calls in the car.
Yeah.
Okay, scheduling appointments for after work. So then when I'm after work on the way back home, I can stop and go to appointments and make offers and stuff back then. So that it was all on paper too. I had bought a file carrier. Okay, I still got those folders too. A file carrier where I could put folders in there, and it was numbered 1 through 31, and that's how I kept track of my days of the month as to who is going to be calling. So I took that thing everywhere that I went. So if it was the second of the month, I pull out 2. That folder is everybody that gets called. That's how I kept track of everything.
Wow.
So what kept you moving? Like, okay, so everybody has there's something called a proof of concept, right?
Yeah.
And when we get our check, when you get that first note, Cody, or whatever, you get that money, that's your proof of concept, right?
Yeah.
So how do you push past that whole year without a proof of concept yet? What made you still want to push through that whole entire year? Because I only did 4 months. I don't know if I could do a year. A year is a long time.
Yeah, a year was a long time. But again, it was off and on, but then doing, other stuff too. Because I was actually still halfway active in the military and doing reserve time and working a job. Like I was doing all of that at the same time.
No,
and
I'm a little different. I went 8 months, no income.
Yeah.
No income. Yeah. I let go of I closed my business, residential care facilities for mentally challenged adults, totally changed fields to real estate, and was just locked. I had to do it. I had 5 whys.
Yeah,
man.
Everyone underneath my roof was what I knew I can do it.
Yeah.
I knew I can raise money. I knew I could corral my resources and pump out a deal, and so happy I did. I mean, it was the best decision, best year of my life. Was the hardest year of my life. It turned out to be. Really understand.
I mean, but it was just the persevering to keep going.
Yeah.
Like I have to keep going. Okay, I'm not even doing this part-time. I'm doing this half of part-time.
Yeah.
But in order for me to justify the hours that I'm putting into it, that's why it took so long. Right? That's why it took so long. And in the middle of all of that, I also got laid off too. So now I'm laid off, and I wouldn't have done that deal within that time frame. So I guess I'd have to say from the time being laid off to actually closing that deal, that was about 5 to 6 months. but it was a full year from the time that I started.
Yeah.
Because it was just one of those things. Look, this is what I want to do.
Facts.
I didn't know
Facts.
anybody. I didn't know anybody in real estate. I didn't know anybody that even knew. And back then, it wasn't called wholesaling. We were actually we would call it flipping. It wasn't. Nobody talked about wholesaling. This is not wholesaling. You was either flipping or retail, right? And most people refer to that now as rehabbing, right? The term, the whole game terminology changed since I've been in this thing, right? Where, you know, I first started, hey man, I flip houses. Oh, you flip houses? Okay, that's wholesaling. That's what wholesaling was back then. We didn't call it wholesaling. Okay. So yeah, we say, hey, we flip houses. And that's what we did.
That's awesome, Jay.
What about you, Mr. Cody?
Well, for notes, for me, it was a little bit different because I had what I talk about some unfair advantages. I was the president of the RIA out here in Portland, Oregon for a long time. So I was visible. I was in front of everybody all the time. And so once I decided I was going to go into notes, got a little bit of training. Within about 2 months, I was able to raise some capital, and I bought 4 notes right out of the gate. And so that's what I did. So in that regards, it was pretty easy for me with my mortgage background, the contacts. And I got to do some public speaking. I did some presentations, and I kind of constructed the presentations in a way that it looked like, hey, I want to invest with this guy. And so, one of those I still have. They're still making payments on it. The other 3 I've liquidated. All those particular investors have been paid back, plus with the profit. And so, that worked out pretty well with that regards. But, notes is a little different story than it is as far as trying to buy individual real estate.
Well, I definitely want to learn notes. So I will be definitely talking to you, Cody.
Yeah. I welcome that. So.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely, man. So everybody's looking. That's going to see this. Everybody's looking at this right now, man. Listen, a lot of times it don't happen overnight. It really truly tests if you really want to do this or not. But if somebody would tell you that, I think we talked about this the other day, man. If somebody told you it takes you 1,000 calls to make $10,000, how quickly would you get through them calls? Right? What would you do? On your day off, would you make calls? When you get off work, would you make calls? Your lunch, would you make calls? Get to doing it. Simple as that. Man.
Yeah.
Get to doing it. I think one of the guys said, man, when you want to breathe as much as you want to succeed, or if you want to succeed as much as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. Right? So, and these are guys that have been through the trenches, man. I closed my first 4 deals behind an 18-wheeler.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And I like you say, SJ, about what was the proof of concept. Mine was, I don't know if you guys heard of this guy named Mr. Flipper House, right? But he used to be on YouTube a lot back in the day. He probably is now. I just haven't seen him on Facebook 1 or 2. And I remember him talking to somebody. He said, "Man, there's people been listening to us for years who never did a deal, even try to do a deal." And to me, he was like he's talking to me personally. I'm like, he challenging me, right? Because I got to the point where I can finish his sentence. I knew what he was going to say before he said it, because I had done a deal, which I had never done. So I went online, I pulled up purchase sale contract. Went on this lady's site, and he put your email in, she sent me all of the contract.
I'm finna show my age here in a minute.
And I just started marketing. and I ran across this lady who was selling a property. She was selling a trailer home. In this place in Denton, Texas, or whatever, man. I went out there, man. Didn't know what I was doing. Nervous. I don't think I even read over the contract. I'm walking around this property, acting like I've been doing this for 50 years, right? And she said, "Come on in and sit at the table." I didn't even know what I offered. I ain't know nothing, man. I sat at the table, and she said, "What'd you give me for it?" And I just basically lowballed her, and she agreed to it. Right? So she signed the contract. I signed the contract, and I'm backing out of the driveway. And in my mind, I done made $100,000. I'm rich. That's how, in my mind, that's how I'm feeling. So because all this time I'm listening to these people on YouTube and doing these different things, I'm like, this really works. Now, mind you, I didn't get a chance to sell that place, and nobody's buying a trailer home, or whatever the case is, right? But in my mind, this works. So now I'm on now. I'm doing all kind of stuff, man. I'm Starbucks touring. I'm doing everything, bro. I'm caught. Hey, I'm gonna be at the Starbucks at this time over on such and such street. I used to have people come to that. You know what I'm saying? So what happened was is that I became a hub for people. So people will come through. People who have done a deal. Some people who have never done a deal. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So come through there, man. And what happened when I was hopping around different Starbucks or whatever, I used to call it the empty Starbucks and cup investor is my nickname to myself, right? So I'm sitting out there, man. Before I knew it, somebody would call me, hey Jay, man, yeah, I was with you at the other Starbucks you was at, man. I got a property. Oh, do you know any buyers that does this? And I was connecting people.
Wow.
And so I'll get bread from him, I'll get bread from the buyer,
Oh,
and I'm walking back in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? Get this. Oh yeah. Is that Cards Machine?
That's Ron LeGrand.
That's Ron
Oh, I
LeGrand.
can see it. Oh my
Yo,
God.
that dude's the truth though. That dude's the truth.
Oh, you got the cassette
bro.
catalog.
Look, I couldn't afford nothing else.
Wow.
You know where I found this?
That's a collector's item, man. That's a collector's item.
During the time where I told you I got laid off. So while I was out looking for jobs, when I couldn't look for it anymore, I would go sit on the floor in half-price books, and I would read books about real estate. And I ran across this one thing that I could afford, which was this.
Wow.
That's classic.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And he was, and in order for him to rewind, he was doing like this.
I still got look, I still got the tape player.
No, you don't. You got a tape player, do you?
Yeah, I got
I
a tape
ain't seen
player.
a tape player in so many years.
I got an
Wow.
8-track over here.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah, I got an 8-track over here. Walkman. I got. If you want see some old school stuff, I've got some old school stuff. Man. I got 2-way pagers. I got next telephones. Man. I collect this. I collect the stuff because it reminds me of the old good times, man.
Mhm.
But yeah, this was all I could afford.
Wow.
This is all I could afford, man.
Wow.
And I
he's
knew.
and he's still doing it.
Yeah, he's still doing it.
He's still doing
He's
it.
still doing it.
He's still doing it.
And yeah, that's all I could afford, man, was cassette tape. So I got this, and I knew my grandmother had an old cassette player, and so I knew I could go get that from her. So I bought this thing, and this is what I would listen to.
Wow.
Hey, so you had a rolling, what they said, rolling university in your car, huh?
Yeah, this is what I would listen to, man.
Man, that's dope, man.
That's
I love it.
dope.
And then I got a chance to attend one of his boot camps one time. So like it's that's what kept me going.
Yeah.
Listen to this is what kept me going.
Yeah.
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 And then accumulate those hours. That's one thing I don't. Yeah, once you get going and you really get consistent, you start counting those hours. I has to pan out. I have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I just recently
debate like that you want to see fruits of your labor. I'm not a giver. I don't give up.
I've been wholesaling for 5 years. Been working 9 to 5, right? Working for the city for 13 years. I just recently, September of 2022, left my job.
Oh, man.
Now,
Congratulations.
and the reason why I did that is because while I was working a 9 to 5, I was doing, and 9 to 5 is different. There's a lot of intentionalities when you're wholesaling real estate, right? Every step got to be intentional, especially when you're working 9 to 5.
Right.
And so I was closing deals, not a lot, it wasn't a lot of deals, but I was closing deals to the point where I said, I'm gonna bet on myself, man. And you know what's so interesting is that I could have stayed.
Yeah.
I could have stayed. And I just said, nah, man, nah. Because the more that I'm doing my 9 to 5 is I'm ruining my business doing that. Like I'm every day, every hour, every minute is I'm not pouring in. Everybody, how everybody used to tell me, I used to hear people say, I gave 100% to this. I never had an opportunity to understand what that meant because I never gave 100% to nothing.
Right.
Wow. It's funny because I'm on I'm on the other spectrum of that, right? So I just came back to a 9 to 5, right? Which I thought I never would do that. And it's I, only reason why I'm here, right? Because it works. It works for what I'm doing, right? If it was something that would interfere with what I'm actually doing, and I didn't really like it or love it what I'm doing, I'll be gone in a heartbeat, right? It's some perks to it as well. So pretty much the money,
Right.
that I'm, the insurance, I don't pay nothing. They got the, it's a lot of, a lot of vacations, the whole nine, man. So that money I'm using towards investing. So now, as you guys know, I talked about last week, a week before that, I'm not really doing residential anymore. It's all commercial. So with me showing I have a job, you know what I'm saying? Me showing I have a business, extra income coming in. It's like, man, I can't even explain it, bro. It's a little bit different, and all I gotta do now is be on call and shoot emails and maybe stop in, or if I gotta jump in the truck because somebody didn't do what they're supposed to do, I can do that. But I'm not really doing that, right? So I don't know if you guys familiar with what is it called? What is that here? I ain't got it in front of me, man. But I think about it here in a second though. Health and wellness. It's a health and wellness where I'm over the drivers. I'm over another division as far as like the not maintenance, but what do they call that, man? My mind went blank here, bro. My mind went blank here, bro.
That means
I don't know, bro. It's late. It's late.
You understand that the reason why he can't tell you about that is because he's there for other reasons.
No, Jay.
Health and wellness. It's basically what it was.
We should call him Tommy. We should call him Tommy.
Man, you ain't got no job.
What you do? I do.
I never thought though. This is the crazy thing about it. Like it's hard for me to wrap my head around it to this day. I never thought I would actually work for somebody again. I never thought. And I used to think,
well, you're not.
I work for myself. Don't get me wrong. I work for myself. But once I close one of these big commercial deals, then I'm walking away from all.
Yeah. But you're still not working for them. See, you're working for a purpose. You don't work for them. You're working for a purpose. You are there for a reason, intent. Yes. Right? Most people are waking up and going to work, and there is no intent.
Exactly.
And there's no distinction. They don't have distinction between why they're there and what they're going there for. You do. That's the reason why you couldn't tell us right off the bat what this is. Most people know everything about their job, but they hate exactly what they do.
Right. No, it's true.
Exactly. So I go in there, I'm literally not really doing anything, man. It's like I feel like I'm stealing money. It's kind of what I feel like. It's like, man, why wouldn't I do this?
That's like somebody waking up in the morning, and because it's morning, they have to eat breakfast. Mm-hmm. It's like they're existing. They're not living. Right.
But they're conditioned. It's a condition.
Absolutely.
It's a condition.
Absolutely.
And we were all conditioned the same way.
Exactly.
Right? Because we wouldn't know to get up to go to work or do these things unless we saw somebody else get up and go to work to do them things. And then mom and dad saw somebody else, which is grandparents, to get up, work, and do these things. So we've all been conditioned that way. And unfortunately, sometimes we have to start breaking that pattern and saying, hey, look, what am I doing with my life every day? If what I'm doing, is doing anything for me, myself, my family, or the people that I'm around.
And in order to break it, you got to have the courage to ask those questions.
Yourself, right? Those questions. They got to ask themselves them questions.
And that may mean going against the belief system that you are programmed to continue to move forward. Like a lot of people are working or a lot of people are walking on autopilot. And it's a shame because 20 years can pass by and nothing has happened in their lives because they're just on autopilot.
Nothing.
That's all they've done. Yep. So now with me leaving, entrepreneurship is a scary place. But
hey, Sean, if it don't scare you and excite you at the same time, it ain't worth doing.
Exactly. So I like the fact that it's scary.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that it will bring me wisdom because Wisdom is experience plus reflection.
Can I
So,
give
I
you
like
a
that.
can I give you just a coaching tip real quick?
Oh, you know it.
So I want you to indulge in what you feel right now, this scariness, this unfamiliar territory. I want you to indulge in that. And then I also want you to still keep in mind what it felt like when you were going to work. Because when at a certain point, you're going to feel like you felt when you were working. And you need to know when you feel that way so you can identify, so you can find something else that excites and it scares you at the same time to keep you moving.
Right. Right.
Like you have to
Every
be able
now
to
and
identify
then,
that.
I
Yeah.
need to smell the matches and the fire of the boats that I burned behind me.
Yep. That's right. Smell a little bit of that sulfur.
I got.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta do that. I do that every now and then. But like I said, I always do. It feels good. I try to work. I try to work in a feeling of feeling good.
Yeah.
Right. It feels good. If it
Well, if
doesn't feel good, I won't do it.
Yeah, if you don't
If
feel
I'm on
good, then
camera, yo, Jay,
yeah.
if you see me on camera and you see me doing a video, it's because I feel good doing that video that day.
And I rock with you too, bro. I try to
But
share
if I
every time
don't
I
do a
see
video,
you, bro.
if I'm not doing any videos, I'm not feeling good.
You know, feeling good. Yeah. But see here, this is the thing, man. We all, especially as men, right? We have to kill the things that we have to go out, kill something, and drag it home. Right? It brings out the animal in you, right? When somebody throw you in the deep end, it's either sink or swim. You show you where you really at. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a blessing, bro. The problem is people so used to getting hand fed, they don't know how to go kill nothing and drag it home, man. You know what I'm saying? So now it's 100% on you, right? Which is a great thing. You look, your shoulders are made for pressure, man. They're made for pressure. So I get it. Trust me. That's why I say I never thought I would do that. You know what I'm saying? Or go back and
Well, it's still early in the game. It's still early in the game. I did it in September of 2022.
No. That's what I'm saying. Okay, let me say this part. I'm not downing you for doing it. No, that's not what I'm saying. It's like when I hear you say that, man, I'm telling you, I get it, bro. When I walked away, man, I'm telling you, bro, you couldn't tell me. But my thing is in business, man, what I learned in business, a lot of times it's ebbs and flows in business. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I would listen to anybody, right? Just to everybody, whatever the case is. If you see your weight, see you getting a little closer to the depleting funds or whatever the case is, do not hesitate to go get it. To go get that gig again if you have to. But if not, man, go fly, bro. You know what I'm saying? Go fly, bro.
I will be 50 next year. I want to make sure that I put myself in a position where my 50-year-old will think, because what you do in your 20s affects your 30s, and what you do in your 30s affects your 40s. So I don't want to do any more cleanup.
I hear you, brother. I hear you. I love it, man.
I gotta get up to Jersey. I gotta get up to Jersey.
Yeah,
get up to Jersey, man.
So we missed Lenny today. Lenny has some stuff that come up today, man. He wasn't able to catch it. So
Lenny out there playing in that jungle, whatever that
40
wherever that land is out there, man.
Yeah. Oh, so I wanted to kind of break that down a little bit, man. Because one of the things too, man, is the land. Man, I need to know a lot more about land. I was doing a little research on this the last time we kind of talked a little bit. There was a lot of stuff that I didn't even know. That I thought I knew a lot of stuff, but it's a lot you don't know, right? I didn't know. Just kind of mine that thing out, right? Like you get some land, you go to purchase some land. What do you need to look for? What are some pros and cons about having this land if it's so far out or whatever the case is, and kind of walk through that. So when we want to cross something like that we want to purchase, we already know what we're looking for. We ready to rock.
Yeah.
You know, kind of mind through that, man. So listen, man, this is the yes, sir, Mr. Cody.
I gotta sign off, guys. It's dinner time on the West Coast.
Okay.
So anyway, I will. I appreciate it. See you guys in a couple weeks, and Jarrell, I'll get that emailed off to you, buddy.
All right, buddy.
Hey, I'm gonna give you a call tomorrow too, Mr. Cody.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Have a good one.
Remember, I'm on the West Coast. Don't you be calling me at 4. All
right, brother.
All right. See you guys. Love y'all. Thanks. Bye.
Later.
Man, Mr. Cody got a lot of knowledge, man. He got a lot of knowledge, notes and stuff, man. Definitely reach out to him on some stuff.
I think we should sell him a note. I already got a note I think he needs to buy.
Yo.
So we'll talk about that.
Yo, that property I was telling you, Jarrell, can also do subject to too, So
Okay.
it just like, definitely if anybody wants to do a subject to, I could definitely host
I got a client that's, like I said, buying up properties. Like he just sent me one today for 37,000 purchase, 37,000 renovation. So it's kind of in the same ballpark of what you're talking about here. So I'll shoot it to him.
Got you. I got the addresses in the comments. So
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Jarrell, before we jump off here, man, I wanted to ask you too, man.
What's up, man?
Give us a couple of things, man, that you guys are doing over there that's a little different now, or something that you need to kind of highlight for us, especially for us and for the people that's listening. The kind of programs you guys have to offer.
It's a little different right now. One of my featured programs that I love advertising actually, because I wish it was around when I started. That's kind of one of those things. Is the 90% of purchase and 100% of renovations for new investors. 680 credit score is one of the requirements, but experience is what isn't to get that type of loan to value. Now there's also no interest on undrawn funds.
Any points?
Oh yeah, points are ranging from 2 to 4 depending on the loan size.
Okay.
So
2 to 4.
2 to 4 depending on the loan size. It can go down a little bit lower, but typically under 2 has to be above 5 to 600,000 on the purchase side. So
you say no draw fees?
No, origination he asked about.
No, I'm saying you said draw fees as well, right?
So I was saying there's no
interest on undrawn
funds.
Okay.
Yeah. So explain that a little bit further. Just for anybody quite wondering what that meant is with typical hard money construction loans, you get your renovation portion of your budget reimbursed to you. That's just the typical way they play ball. So that means you have to get portions of the job done, small portions of the job done, or as you like, and then get those funds reimbursed to you as you complete the job. So effectively, you don't get the full loan amount at closing. If you're closing, they're giving you $100,000 for the purchase. Your total loan amount may be $150 because you have $50,000 renovation, but you don't get that $50,000 at closing. That's the money that I'm talking about. That's reimbursed to you. So essentially, normally you'll be charged a total $150 with most lenders, whatever your interest rate is, your monthly payment. But with this lender, you'll be able to pay only on what's been drawn out so far. Side note to that, no hard inquiry on your credit score, and the lender takes care of the appraisal for you. So
that's nice.
Yeah,
pay the appraisal.
They pay for the appraisal for you. They do an internal evaluation. So
okay.
I guess they don't really pay for it themselves because they have
their own. Okay.
So, but nonetheless, get the deal closed and find out the ARV without having to actually come out of pocket. On side of only a soft credit inquiry, soft pull on your credit. So
I know
that's always a plus.
Most loans are going in the direction of reimbursement loans. I noticed that too.
Reimbursement, like you talking about for the renovation?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you'll find some you'll find that really niche that, and then also things are changing. Everything changes, might I add. Okay, like qualifications and processes of lenders and who qualifies are different from year to year. So 3 years ago, to get funded by a lender that would potentially give you upfront money to start the renovation, then you have to be a company with some experience.
Okay, got you.
Or a level of certain experience. It may not even be just one flip. It may be 4 flips. It may be 4 flips in 24 months.
What about investing? What about buying holds? I just buy and hold. Is that considered experience?
No, buying holds. What I mean by it has to be a flip, an exit.
Okay.
Either a refinance or a flip.
A flip. It's still a flip.
Either they won't count a purchase, like you just buy it and hold it because you didn't do any renovation on it. The reason why they'll count a refinance as experience is because you most likely bought the property and then fixed it up and refinanced it.
I did,
so they're looking for those type of borrowers to qualify for experience in that
I got
regard.
a few of, yeah, I did a few of those.
Yeah, yeah. So you'll qualify for experience, but with this lender at 90%, I mean 90% is really
Man, that's good.
not saying like I hate to always say it's the best you're gonna get. Well, I've been doing this for 10 years, and 90% was reserved for very, very established investors. So I'm saying new investors. No, never you thought about it today. You're hearing our voice and say, I want to buy a property tomorrow. You're going to get 90% of the purchase price and 100% of the renovation, meaning you come to the table with 10%. So here, ergo, where you need to really now be able to isolate your market. So where is that 10% really going to, where should you be shopping?
10% is low. Wasn't it used to be 20% at one point?
Yeah. Is they used to only fund 80% loan to value.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, best kick on this, ARV max. I'm sure Jay knows this, and you too, SJ. Max used to be 70%. With this lender, 75%. So they want 90% of purchase. So now you can loan more into the deal. All this is about using other people's money. You're not floating with cash and you can dump it into it and get all your return. Then use as much of other people's money as possible.
Right.
I agree 100%.
I mean, that's the only way to really. It's not about not using your money at all, because you, like I told you, you have 10% to come to the table with. But if your 10% is getting gobbled up in one deal, you can honestly spread that 10% maybe between 2 to 3 deals if you're in the correct market where your 40,000 in your reserves can go that far, or 20,000 in your reserves can go that far. I mean, I have a buyer picking up a property tomorrow that's actually bringing only $11,000 to the table, and he's picking up a property for $90,000. Yes, and he's going to make his ARV on the property is like 210, and only going to put, and it's verified, ARV's back, appraisal's back, 210, and only putting in 30,000 into it. So buying a property at a good deal.
That's a great deal.
Buying it in a good market where the ARVs are substantial. Those are the type, and then getting a lender behind you that can fund as much as possible for you is a way you can pick up multiple deals at once and get great returns rather than buying that same property in the market for 170.
Right.
Selling for 210. Just be a little more savvy as where how you picking up your properties and what it's going to cost you to do so.
That's what's up.
You'll see.
Well, I'm closing the deal, and I'm gonna be picking up a property, and you do nationwide, right?
Nationwide. I'm definitely in New Jersey.
So I'll be closing on a deal, and I'm gonna get another property, but I would like to use you to get the funding done.
Yeah, I'm closing, typically 10 to 20 days, depending on, closing attorneys a lot of the time, title search, things like that. Just getting all the pieces together, but definitely no longer than 20 days. That's about it. But that's the best deal, Jay. But on side of long term, 80% loan to value as opposed to 75%. That would be the best on long term that we can offer right now.
Okay.
I'm stepping into low non-QM deals though. So I'll have more products under my belt in the next couple of months. I'm jumping on with that and just adding that to my repertoire. So I'll have more to discuss about those type of products shortly.
What's the minimum lend, Jarrell?
75,000.
How much?
75,000.
75.
Purchase and loan, acquisitions and loan.
Okay.
Yeah.
We might
But we always do that. You pump up the renovation.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
We might talk about some other stuff.
Yeah. Hey, Jarrell, so I'm always sending somebody away, man. So this put me to the side when it comes to this. But do you guys have any affiliate marketing programs you got to offer me that you can tell the people about?
Not at this time. Okay. Not at this time. I do all my marketing myself. Yeah. Okay. Not at this time. Just
we need to get together and get a building. That's what
man, listen, I'm working on
get a commercial building, put money into that building, have Jarrell freaking
finance it. I got a couple lenders actually right now, private money lenders that only want to do commercial financing. So
Do like a 30
fuck with the
unit.
deal. And that's another
Listen,
thing.
I tell you what. Let me log off real quick. Let's talk a few seconds before we get off, bro.
Ah,
Because I definitely got something to add to that for sure. So listen, man. Y'all drop your social medias and all that good stuff, man. Tell them how to reach you, everything, real quick.
I think Jarrell frozen. But anyway, I don't even do social media that much. But Jason Sims, I think it's the same way on Facebook. I think it's the same way on IG. I'm on all of them. I just don't know what the handles are. But better way to contact me, man, call me. 972. What's my number, man? I don't call myself that much. 972-220-8104.
Yes, sir.
yo, so you could definitely catch me. This is Coach SJ, S&J Property Group. That's my handle for IG, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I teach wholesaling real estate. And if you want to I do one-on-one coaching. So if you want to learn more about wholesaling in its unique way, book a call. And I'm here to help you as much as possible. My goal is to help as many people understand that wholesaling real estate is the gateway to financial freedom. So definitely hit me up on all social media platforms. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell the whole flock of people.
Dope.
All right. It's Jarrell, man. Hit me up at bpiquickloans@gmail. Hit me up at 678-523-1300. Or on Facebook at just put in my name, Jarrell Mattis, and you'll get my page. IG, just go through Facebook to get the IG. It's through Brickmore Property Investing. That's my page on IG. But nonetheless, just here doing hard money loans. Anybody looking for any financing on the deals, upcoming deals, or trying to refinance on the property you have to get some equity out so you can spread it around, just give me a call. Shoot me on that line. Thanks, bro.
Jay Wicker, man. Hey, Mid City Network, man. That's what it's about, man. Real estate aholics, man. I love these guys, man. Small business stand up, man. Every other Tuesday, man. Check us out. Wherever you see this is at, that's where you can get it from. Right? If you want to reach out to me, man, no residential anymore, man. Only multi-family properties, man. So reach out to me. Let's go get it, man. Hey, look forward to seeing you guys next week and the week after that, man. Salute to everybody, man. You guys stay on for a quick second.
Okay.
Peace.
All right, guys.